I'm not weird, okay? Well, maybe I am. But that's totally independent of the shit I like. Well, maybe that's not too true either. I mean, I like
Redacted.
But that doesn't mean I'm not going to defend the stuff that other people like, that people think are weird, but actually aren't. Let's start with an extremely hard one. Himouto, Himouto Umaru-Chan. I'm going to assume two things right off the bat. One, you've never heard of this thing because, I never hear anybody talking about it, and every time I have to type the name, I have to look up anime girl with hamster hoodie. Yes, including for this video. And two, you're going to assume that every piece of media surrounding this thing is weird. And I don't really blame you. Not the fact that it's anime. Anime has made leaps and bounds in becoming more mainstream as of late. Except for my one friend who liked Dragon Ball Z when he was younger, but started to hate it when he found out it was an anime. You know who you are. You watch my videos. But regardless, it's become more of a pop culture thing. Also, most of my fan base is nerds, so sorry guys, it's true. So, we can scratch that off the list of reasons why you think this is weird. So, let's take a deeper dive into the show itself. The show is about a girl who lives with her brother and goes to a high school and when she's there, she's super cool, but when she comes home, she becomes a chibi. This girl it's not a hentai, okay? It's just a show. And it's a pretty pure one at that. It's pure by any standards, not just anime standards. Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but it's still pure by anime standards. Hell, I bet even the fans are more pure than fans in other fandoms. Actually, why say that when I can just prove it? Come here. Yeah. Yeah, this is happening. You made this happen. Look at this. My microphone doesn't stretch. You think that's gonna stop me? No, come closer. I want you to see this. I want you to be right here. You think my mouse pad is gonna stop me too? You guys are really getting ahead of yourselves here. No, come closer. We're gonna do a quick search. I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna search up Umaru hentai, and not a single thing is gonna come up. Yeah. You brought it to this point. Umaru hentai. Regardless, the show is still good and can be watched by normal people for normal reasons. But why say that when I can just show you that? So here it is. Whatever. In general, the show is just a compilation of loosely, or sometimes in no way, connected shorts that make up a 25-minute episode. The first episode is just all set up. Pretty much, at school, Umaru is the popular girl that gets good grades, is good at everything she does, and pretty much has it all. But at home, she's a lazy ass who whines and complains about everything until her brother eventually caves and does all her bidding. This might seem a bit annoying, and, well, it kind of is. You have to be able to put up with that kind of stuff to watch the show. The humor of the show comes from just how stupid and insignificant the whole thing is. But following that logic, I would probably be much more funny than I actually am. So it's not exact science, but the show does it right. It kind of takes you out of the real world for a little while, you know? Like, there's people slowly dying of hunger in Africa right now, and Umaru's biggest concern for the entirety of this segment is that her brother isn't playing video games with her. I don't know, there's just something pure about it. This episode also briefly sets up other characters that become more important later on, so overall, it does a pretty good job at, well, setting up the series. Now, I can probably guess what you're thinking right now. Secret Passage Productions? You have balls. How can you like a group of high school girls fucking about? And not in a good way. I'm allowed to like these things, okay? I can say this thing is cute and still have balls. Here, watch me. This thing is cute and I don't even want to fuck it. Okay, now let's check. And... oh my god, where'd they go? The fact still remains. People can like things because they're good. It doesn't have to be made for them specifically, and it's not gonna be weird if it isn't. When I bought this shirt, the guy at the register told me that it was in a girl size, and I said that was okay, because it still fucking fits. I can still see why people would be skeptical of the show, though. After seeing the first episode, it wouldn't be unreasonable to ask if the show can still stay fresh, and I say it does, for a number of reasons. First is the characters. Overall, they're kind of one note, like this character has a crush on Umaru, and this character needs to be the best at everything, but when they're put in various situations and then react to each other, they're interesting and I actually care about them. Like this one character with red hair. Her whole arc is that she has big boobs and everyone looks at her funny, but she ends up falling in love with Umaru's brother because he's the only one that looks her in the eyes. Yeah, that actually happens. That's probably the most simultaneously pure and unpure thing I've ever seen in my life, and it sets up an entertaining and interesting dynamic between two pretty undynamic characters. It's pretty stupid, but it allows for flexibility. All the characters are like that. You can stick them in any situation and they just work. And that's important because each segment deals with a new situation, and when there's multiple segments per episode, flexibility is important to longevity. It's also just a fun-ass show to watch. Nothing ever bears any weight in the show, nothing besides the most basic of traits ever come back, and while some people may resent that, I actually respect that. It makes for a calm watching experience that's just focused on putting a smile on your face, and I don't really see a problem with that. It's a show that's good because it just is. You really can't dissect it further than that. It just is. Some things just do, and I guess this thing does. The whole show is just a perfect universe where everything ends up perfectly all the time. And if you don't like that, fuck you. Some people like being happy sometimes. Like, in the show, you can apparently have the highest GPA in the whole school and not take any AP classes. None of it's real, but watching a universe where it is for 25 minutes is the next best thing. What's weird about that? Everybody needs to feel detached sometimes. I'm not saying it doesn't look weird from the outside, but after I explained it, can you really blame me for liking it? I can't blame you for not liking it. There are some detractors, but still. The thing that sucks most about the show, in my opinion, is that Season 1 is on Hulu and Season 2 is on Amazon Prime. Seriously, who does that? One reason. You guys might not want to watch the show, though. There is one singular reason that you guys might resent this. And I'm not one to say if it's valid or not. That's up to you to decide. But some of you guys might get jealous. Yeah, think about it. Umaru excels in all of her classes, has actual friends that actually like her and that she actually likes back. She gets out of the house all the time. The show doesn't tell you, but it's implied that she could get any guy she wants, and she's seen as a top-tier human being, a real first-estate kind of gal. But when she's home, she eats all the shit she wants. She gets everything she wants. She plays video games and watches anime all night. She has 2 literal slaves at her disposal, and she sleeps in a bed while her brother, the person who makes all the money, cooks, cleans, goes shopping, and literally does everything, sleep on the floor. Umaru is the peak of evolution. You literally cannot possibly have it any better than what she has. And you know what? You guys want that. You want to watch anime all night. You want to eat your shit and play video games all day and still somehow ace all your tests, but you can't. You want to be cool and have friends that don't screw you over, but you can't. You want 2 slaves at your disposal, but you can't. Born too late, sorry. Some of you might legitimately like this show, but are too scared to admit that you are jealous of a 16-year-old anime girl. You hate her because you want to be her. But, yeah, keep consuming my content. Maybe if you watch my videos, it will counteract the effects of the show. I don't know, sounds like it might work, sounds like something I would try. Anyway, this show is good and nobody can stop me from liking it. And it's not a kid's show. And I'm not one to say if it's valid or not. That's up for you to. And I'm not. Bleh. And I'm not one to say if it's valid or not. That's up for you. And I'm not one to say if it's valid or not. That's up to you to say. And I'm not one. And I'm not one to say if it's valid or not. That's up to you to decide.